Good morning, Watcher of Realms. What's going on, guys? Bluntguts here. Thank you so much for joining my channel. I truly appreciate it. I am going to go through everything that is happening in Watcher of Realms this week, and oh my god, it is going to be a big week. Let's get into it. That's right. Call your doctor. Call Poison Control. We are going to have some poisoners coming to Watcher of Realms very soon. Toxic Outbreak, May 15th all the way through May 26th. That is going to cover the next two banner weekends, essentially. This weekend, we are going to be having Nastya. It looks like she's going to be alongside Sargak. We also have Numera alongside Valeria. I think Nastya is unquestionably somebody that everybody should be going for, personally. I think the only way you should not be going for her is if you already have Solkaden's A1 or higher. Even then, I think there's an argument to be made if you're forward-thinking to go for Nastya. They have dropped, and by they I mean the developers have dropped several hints saying that Nastya and the Poisoners are going to be meta for Abyss 2 when it is released. Now, is that going to be the case? I don't know. Unfortunately, the developers have not always been super accurate when predicting exactly what is going to be the meta comp. So I'm going to stop short of saying that the Poisoners are going to be like the best comp for Abyss 2 whenever it is released. But I think at the very least, they are going to be strong, and there's probably going to be some mechanics that they do help to address. We can't really say anything until we see the content for sure, though, right? But I think getting the lore that does enable this comp is going to be a good first step. Numera is an incredible hero. If you compare her with Nastya, that is only going to benefit her and make her better. She's also a piercer anti-air fighter, single target albeit, but still very, very nice hero. Does a lot of single target damage. Somebody that you definitely want on your account. However, I do think that the true headliner in the Poison comp is actually Vorn, who is coming next weekend on a banner. And Vorn is incredible because just like Setram, he will actually buff other allies with the ability to do increased damage to shields. If you get into A1, he's going to buff up to 3 different allies to do that, and that is just incredible. So, you know, I feel like I have not gotten a lot of summons recently for whatever reason, or maybe I've just been spending too many of them. I've got some tough decisions to make. You may have some tough ones as well. Tune into my Should You Summon video. Should be premiering tomorrow, where I'm going to break down exactly what is coming, not just this week, but down the line, so we can best use the summons that we do have available to us. But big week. Big shift, hopefully big shift in the meta for a lot of these boss comps. We'll just have to wait and see, though. We are officially at the halfway point of the GVG season right now, going into week 5 right now. My guild, Celestials Arbiters, we are at, I believe, rank 19, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, rank 19, after we did have our second matchup against the Shire in the past week. So that was lovely. Thank you so much, game. I just want to take the time right here to highlight a problem that I think I see in the rankings that I know a lot of other people have commented on, but we end up playing the exact same teams over and over again. We are in week 5 right now, going into week 5, so we have had 8 different GVG matches in season so far. All 3 of the guilds that are above us in the rankings, Flamme de Udun, Crazy Killers, Smash Pandas, we have faced all of them. It does seem likely that we are going to face one of these guilds in the first match this week, and even if we don't face them then, we'll likely face the winner of one of those matches in the second matchup. So, you know, like, I don't know. It's just not fun to be playing the same guilds over and over again. And because GVG has become so top-heavy at this point, it really is just a small group of guilds. And there is a massive power discrepancy between the top 5 and the top, say, 6 to 15. And then the rest of Overlord is on a different level as well. So I don't know. It's just not well done at this point, the matchmaking system. Now, as far as regular arena is concerned, we did close out the week on single target arena. So we are starting off with AoE DPS, as you can see right now at the beginning of the week. Midweek, we are going to have single target, and then at the end of the week, we will move into anti-air, which is currently my best one. So I am excited about that. I should be able to farm some Apex coins, although I don't really know what I'm doing with them anymore. I guess ostensibly I should be buying Lady Alexandria Soul Stones, but I also just don't like arena very much, so it's a constant struggle for me. Only so much time. It's a massive time sink. I think I've got 141 good God, arena tokens on here, just getting ready for my #1 overall push. You know, that's never happening, but it is what it is. I am excited to get some Apex coins. The rewards are fantastic in the Apex shop. And speaking of shops, we gotta talk about the Awakening shop. It's something that I did preview last week. Let's take a closer look at exactly what changes they've made to this part of the Dwarven Association. Let's talk about what's new here. We've now got 2 Soul Stones. Unfortunately, they are both awful. Magda and Calypso this week. Calypso's not awful. I do like Calypso quite a bit. And actually, with her exclusive gear, she's not a terrible hero. But it really just kind of power crept at this point, even with the upgrades that she has gotten. Magda has some of the worst awakenings in the game, so definitely a big pass. I will say, just generally though, I'm excited there are going to be 2 soul stones in the shop moving forward. I do think that Magda is new. I think there was a Seraphina one as the second one last week alongside Elowen. That was nice to see as well. I don't think that she was in there previously either, so it does seem like they're going to be rolling out some new soul stones. So I'm excited to see exactly which ones. There's probably a few really powerful ones that are in there. That does seem to be the way it was previously, so I can't wait to find out exactly what it is that we're going to have access to. Other than that, we have all of these demon soldiers that are in here, and the way that they've broken this down is a little confusing. So I'm going to go through this with you right now. It's important to note because you should be buying these epic ones, in my opinion, every single week, assuming that you do have the currency to do so. When we see ×5 right here, that is 5 full demon soldiers. So that means that is 5 times 10 shards. That means that every one of these purchases is actually 50 shards. So, for example, I'm going to buy this Merkling Menace right now. That is 50 Merkling Menace shards. It is a huge catch-up mechanism. I think that gets you almost to level 3 just immediately. So if you passed last week, I would recommend that if you have the resources, you know, at least while we've got these big stacks, a lot of us have been saving these Awakening coins for a long time because there just has not been a ton to spend them on. I would be buying these every single week just because the value is just so great. And, you know, maybe we end up being a little bit more discerning about what we spend our Awakening coins on, the epic ones included from this point forward. Moving back to some content here, we've got the Immortal Codex coming to a close for this go-around. Lord of Styx is going to be ending after today. I have not put any time into this. I've been time limited this entire week, and I expect that to continue to be the case moving forward, unfortunately. I'm kind of counting the hours that are remaining on my paternity leave right now. I'm more than halfway through it. I'm going to have to go back to work in mid-June, so, you know, unless they fire me, which, hey, that may happen, so we'll have to wait and see. And that means that I've had a lot less time to concentrate on things like Codex. I still have number 28 in Lord of Styx, which is great. I have not done more than one attempt on Mother of Crows at this point. I, of course, will make sure that I get one done before the end, but I don't know that that content is coming, honestly. We'll have to wait and see. It is what it is, life and all that. But you should make sure that if you haven't put in attempts on here, or if you do want to get better scores, now is the time. You've got less than a day on Lord of Styx. You've got a little less than 3 days on Mother of Crows. So get those attempts in, get those rewards while you can. The last thing I do want to comment on before I do move over on to collecting my own rewards. Oh, baby, can't wait. My favorite part of the video, of course. But I do want to talk about the release of stages 22 through 24 in Gear Raids 1, 2, and 3. And look, I think there's been a lot of outcry about them, and I think it's super justified, honestly. I think that the implementation for this has been incredibly lazy. I find myself in a weird spot because for a long time I was clamoring for new content. I wanted them to release new things in the game, and I suppose that they have done that to a degree, right? Let's talk about what they released. So they released Abyss 1. Fantastic. I do like Abyss 1, especially the more I've gotten to play with it. I don't like the implementation of it, though. They've created a situation where you need a very, very limited set of heroes to have any kind of success in this game mode. And I think that is just poor design, ultimately. I think that there should be a number of different comps that do work, and it should be more about how much time you've invested in this game. You know, how much farming have you done? What kind of gear do you have? The limiting factor should not just be what your roster looks like, at least not wholly. At least not so limiting in so much as, do you have Soulcadins or not? How high is your Kagiri Awakening? And ultimately, the hard thing about this boss is mainly just that it hits harder, right? Aside from the juggling, the magic, and the physical damage thing, which, again, I think is kind of lazy, not compelling from my perspective. But maybe that's just me. The other thing they brought in was this Tower of Deception, which I thought was going to be really great. Again, I'm behind on this. I have not spent a ton of time on it. A theme that you may have recognized throughout this video, I've kind of been, honestly, running low on interest as far as this game is concerned, because a lot of the stuff that they brought out is really just rehashed old content. And Tower of Deception is no exception to that. They have rehashed a number of old stages and added some wrinkles to them, admittedly, but largely these are just old stages that they've kind of repurposed. And I feel like it is lazy. Where is this game separating itself from what it's done in the past year and a half? And I just don't really see it right now. You know, maybe that's the idea ultimately, though, right? They're a business, and I guess from their perspective, they think this is going to make them money. I don't think this is going to support longevity for the game, but it is what it is. I hope that you're all enjoying it. It's been fine. I haven't hated it. I've basically one-shot everything up to level 19. I just haven't really attempted much beyond that. I struggled a little bit on level 20. So I guess I'll come back and I'll try to beat that. And I've got, what, a week to get to level 25. And we'll see whether or not that happens. But, either way, I like the rewards. I like the idea. Just the actual stages themselves are repetitions from previous stuff. And that just, in my opinion, again, not all that fun. Which, again, brings us to the gear rates. So we come full circle here, and I felt like I wanted to talk about this one. I wanted to talk about the Tower of Deception because I see the same problem in Gear Raid 1, 2, and 3. It really is just the same stages with just higher defense, higher magic resist for the enemies, slightly different mechanics in a couple of places, but largely just these same stages. And they're really just narrowing the field of comps that can beat it. Gear Raid 1, for example, if you don't have some combination of these legendary lords, you are not going to be able to beat it, essentially. Look what you see on every single one of these comps for 23, and that is a legendary cultist lord. I do not have one. I do think that I might be able to come close to beating it with an epic cultist lord, but it's a massive disadvantage. I do have a very, very strong account, and I've got a very good roster of heroes as well, and yet I am struggling to not even to beat the last stage, but to beat the second to last stage on this. And it's not because the mechanics are new or it's too difficult for me. It's just because I don't have the right combo of heroes. And I just, again, lazy game design. I have not done anything on Gear Raid 2. I've been kind of going through these as the tournaments have come up because I'm not really farming outside of those tournaments. But Gear Raid 2 does seem to be the easier one. I think more people have beaten through level 24 on that. But I don't think the mechanics have really changed substantially on there either. And they certainly haven't on Gear Raid 3, which I was able to clear through stage 23 only because I do have Lady Alexandra. I know that there are some comps out there that don't need her. But again, very small pool of heroes that you are able to use in order to beat this. The updated rewards are nice. But again, could we not have added some new mechanics into this and changed? Like, it's literally the same stage. It's literally the same stage that we've been playing ever since we got to level, 19. So, I don't know. That content is almost 2 years old at this point. What are we doing here? Longer than that if you count the Forerunner server. So, new content is great. Rehashing old content and calling it new content is just, I don't know. I don't love it. I'm sorry to be complaining, but it is what it is. In any case, no more complaining, at least not until I open these rewards. Let's hopefully end on a high note. Let's see what I can snag here. I've been waiting to grab a soulstone on one of these videos. I hope it's going to happen someday, but not on that Nightmare 3 chest. Let's see. No gold there, which likely means, yep, no stone there. I am consistently hitting the second to highest chest on here. I am going to be getting these forwards, and you see there are 2 soul stones available in there. So let's hope that the game does bless me right now. That would be wonderful. Not on that one. I saw the gold chest and I got excited. Well, you know what? I'll take a divine right now. I do have 13 of those right now. Hopefully it's going to come in handy when I am summoning for the poisoners over the weekend. So yeah, I'll take it, but not what I was looking for. Of course, let's go check out Guild Boss 2 rewards. Let's start off with APOC 1. Let's see some ancients, please. There's an ancient to start with. I like that. Got some more in there? Nope, just one. That's a shame. If you haven't watched me collect these rewards in the past, I always think that the mythic artifact essence shards here are the best value, so I am always going to take those if they are available to me. I love to see that there. And then let's do 2 here. Let's see some ancients, please. I'd like to see a bunch of them. I like to be impressed. 2, but we did get a divine, so only 3 ancients this go round. Does bring my total up to 63 at the beginning of the week. Not going to be enough to get me to Mercy for Nastya, unfortunately. Hopefully I get lucky though, but I will now have 14 of these. I do have 105 rare summoning crystals, which is nice. I'm just super low on resources. Are you guys low on resources too? It feels like we just haven't gotten quite as much recently as we have in the past, but maybe that is just me. Again, I'm going to go for this mythic artifact essence here. It's wonderful. Let's head on over to Void Rift. All right, I blasted through Void Rift in about 15 minutes earlier. Since I did just take a massive steaming dump on the developers' efforts to release new content in this game, one thing I will praise them for is this auto-clearing of Void Rift has been incredible. I do love that. It's a game changer. Love more auto-clear content like that, developers. As you add more content to the game, more time investment is needed, and that is a turnoff for some folks, especially folks like myself. The more time I have to spend actually playing it to feel like I'm doing everything I need to do, the less likely it is that I'm going to continue playing because I've got other obligations, obviously, that are more important. Just my 2 cents. Let's claim these rewards here. Let's see if we get anything juicy. I'd love to see. Let's hope. Oh, what's that? What we got here? Healing effect. That's garbage. It does have did have attack speed on it, so that is nice. Let's go do some exclusive artifact summoning to close this out. All right, we are in the forge. I've got 12 of these bad boys. Let's see if I can't make some magic happen here. I'll have to get something good. Come on, baby. Valderon, maybe? That is not Valderon. That is straight trash right here. I don't know that I've ever even deployed Kaniza. I've got her like A3 or A4 or something like that. But yeah, she is not good. And from what I know about this, this artifact is not good either. But it doesn't really matter because it doesn't make her good enough to use anywhere. That's for sure. At least not at endgame. Slow your roll, Kaniza lovers. Okay, I'm sure she's fine. Okay, don't worry about it. Let's do the final two. Maybe we can get lucky and snag another exclusive. That would be wonderful. Sharpshooter's Crest, that is not exclusive. Exclusive trash. And a Spellcaster's Echo, Insult to Injury. Come on, baby. 12 summons, 1 exclusive artifact, and it was bad. So, not the best reward session that I've ever had, but, you know, they can't all be winners. I appreciate you all tuning into my video. Thank you so much. Please do click that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel. It means the world to me and really does motivate me to continue doing content at a time where I've got a lot of other things kind of cropping up in my life. So if you do want to keep seeing stuff from me, you know, vote with your subscriptions and your likes. I appreciate it, guys. Good luck on your own rewards. I will catch you all next time.